Hi, you're listening to The Advantage Podcast with me, John Kenworthy. Hey there, welcome to this week's podcast. This is me, John Kenworthy, and this week I'm talking about how to ensure and see your own success. If it's safe to do so, put your hand up if you trust you. And keep your hand up if you can trust yourself always. That is, you never, ever let yourself down. There are many areas in our lives where we have a tendency, a temptation to not do something we promised ourselves, not to follow through, to give in when we know that we really should continue. Or perhaps that's just me, because I know that I've been going through a lot of this recently. Last year, as you probably know, I had a heart attack. No warning, no symptoms, until that very morning. And it wasn't poor diet. I'm pretty good at my diet. Could have been better, and I am now, but it wasn't something of major concern. I wasn't fit, but I wasn't a sloth either. And sure, I was overweight. I still am a little overweight, but then I am in my mid-50s, and that's my excuse. No, what caused my heart attack was smoking. 46 years of smoking. So I quit. At 11:33 on July the 4th, 2014, I quit smoking for good. And it has been very, very hard since then. My darling wife bore the brunt of most of my temper tantrums, and the lack of nicotine allowed my neurochemicals to manifest what cortisol really does to you. And whilst my diet wasn't the problem, I still needed to make sure I did something about it. I had to give up cheese. Now, for many of you, giving up cheese is neither a problem, nor is it something you worry about. Well, I could live on cheese. I love it, all forms of it, the smellier the better. I can eat cheese for breakfast, lunch and dinner, and still fancy a snack later. Leave cheese in my fridge and I will leap upon it with gusto. So no more cheese, at home anyway. But since I had to quit the cigarettes, I thought that I may as well get the rest of my life in some sort of shape as well. After all, I've been given a wonderful gift of life part 2. I have a very clear purpose in life and a ministry after my short experience of death in the body and my all too brief trip to heaven. So the fag's gone. Cheese, only the very special cheese and only outside of home. Because I cannot trust myself alone with a plate of cheese sitting in the fridge. I wanted to begin to exercise regularly, so I set myself a clear target to run 5k outside by the end of the year and swim 500 metres within 15 minutes. I wanted to lose a total of 11 kg and get some semblance of a hunky body back. Because I've had a barrel in front for more years than I had a six-pack. It's time for me to get back to being slim, fit and healthy and putting health at a much higher value in my life. Blimey though, this is hard work. And I have a very serious leadership weakness. I am probably the most ill-disciplined self-leader in the world. I am terrible at self-discipline. I am very, very good at avoiding things until the last minute, but actually sticking to it, not so hot. I'm better when I have accountability. Accountability for what I've promised. Because I know only too well that I can't trust me. So I deliberately seek accountability. I ask others to help hold me accountable. My wife helps me with the smoking and the diet, and she's been a star. Oh, the tussles we've had when I just wanted to really bend the rules just a tiny little bit. For my exercise, I got myself a Fitbit, and I started monitoring all of my food, my exercise, my heart rate, everything. I collated a group of friends on Fitbit, and we help each other remain accountable to each other. It's a buddy system. We do it. We'll taunt each other, cajole, cheer, and celebrate. Then I really got to push myself a little bit, because being accountable for what I've promised was working, but it wasn't helping me push myself and get the body back, because anybody who is sort of my age or a little younger, if you go from no exercise to exercising, yes, you can drop the weight, but getting some of the fitness and strength back, that's hard work. So I got myself a PT coach, and I work with a man called Marcel Dan. He combines neuroscience, fitness and nutrition. And he's helped me design a routine that is going to get me some flexibility, some strength, and ultimately help me get a little bit towards the body that I would like to have. His job is to get this abused and neglected body back into some sort of reasonable shape. And oh boy, this hurts. I can manage to push myself to run and swim, but not push myself hard. And that's what you want from a coach. Not someone who's just keeping you accountable, but pushing you further than you think you can go. And slowly and steadily it's working. I can run over 5k now, still indoors for the moment, but Singapore is a bit warm for outdoor running. And my target is to run this when I'm in Perth next November, outside, along the ocean. The weight is coming off, and a good number of muscles have been pulled out of retirement. I feel better and get so much more done in the lesser time that I have. And I have less time because I've now got to get to the gym for 2.5 hours, at least 3 times a week. So what does everybody do when something is working? Well, the immediate intention is, let's stop doing it. Yep. When something begins to work, our ego takes over. We think it's our smarts, that we've got this down pat and everything will just continue naturally. But we can't and shouldn't trust ourselves. I've learnt this the hard way. So I don't trust myself. It's why we all need to seek accountability, a buddy, somebody who is really going to help us keep us accountable for what we promise. And for a lot of people these days, that does mean finding a coach or a mentor, because our inner circle is depleted. Friends cannot always be relied on to keep us accountable. After all, they've got their own lives to lead. So who do you seek out to help you remain accountable? So I'm celebrating this week because it's 1 year on. It's exactly 1 year on as we enjoy this July the 4th, 2015, since I began Life Part 2. And I want to encourage you to think of every day as being your masterpiece, as John Wooden says. You give 100% to this day and putting the most important things first in your life. Don't be foolish like I was and neglect your health. Put your health high on the agenda. Put your family high on the agenda. How are you going to keep yourself accountable? Put a metric in place and seek out a buddy, a real close buddy, somebody you can trust who will keep you accountable and you keep them accountable. Whether it's for fitness, whether it's for being the very best at whatever you want to be the best at. Accountability is what enables us to ensure and to be able to see our success. Go off and enjoy a blessed week. And please do share this with a buddy who you will help be accountable for what they want to achieve and get them to help you be accountable too. Bye for now. You've been listening to the Advantage podcast with me, John Cameron. To find out more, visit us at celsin.com.